Kenya's aquatic borders stretch far beyond its beaches. Its inland lakes and its vast exclusive economic zone, the offshore waters, where the nation claims sole resource rights, represent a massive footprint of unexplored marine wealth. For the rural communities living along these shores, these specific waters provide their baseline food security and daily income. But populations of high-value fish have dropped to vulnerable levels, driven downward by steady overfishing and mounting climate pressures. Continuing to extract these resources blindly guarantees that the coastal ecosystem will fail, taking the local economy down with it. Kenya has reached an inflection point where the current system of extraction is no longer viable. This leaves a choice between decay of coastal livelihoods or a technical re-engineering of the aquatic economy. The alternative strategy is called the blue economy. It's a model focused entirely on generating national wealth from ocean resources, without degrading the ecosystems that produce them. This flowchart visualizes the financial catalyst making the transition possible. A $100 million World Bank project called KEMFSED funnels capital directly into sustainable marine infrastructure and rural community development. To execute an economic shift of this magnitude, the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, KMFRI, drafted a specific 2023 to 2027 strategic plan. As we can see on this blueprint layout, the plan relies on 5 load-bearing pillars designed to elevate Kenya to middle-income status: innovative research and knowledge dissemination, resource mobilization, strategic partnerships, and community engagement. This structure coordinates conservation efforts to directly support Kenya's transition into an industrializing, middle-income nation. A master plan requires capital. Pillar 3 focuses heavily on resource mobilization because executing this blueprint requires an intense injection of money and infrastructure. This chart tracks the institutional push. Funding from the government of Kenya climbs steeply from 1.3 billion shillings up to 8.6 billion. This money expands capacity, growing qualified staff to 700 people and upgrading 12 distinct research facilities across the country. Under Pillar 1, those newly funded labs and personnel are deployed to map the unexplored deep-water reaches of Kenya's economic zone. Physical fleets hit the water to log oceanographic conditions, monitor aquaculture yields, and perform bioprospecting, gathering the metrics needed to calculate exact sustainable harvesting thresholds. In a functioning blue economy, raw scientific data serves as the central currency. It provides the exact limits required to stop overexploitation before it happens. Pillars 2 and 4 dictate that scientific data only matters if it actually leaves the lab through knowledge dissemination and active partnerships. Researchers feed their findings into centralized systems, like the Kenya Moja database, giving local governments the precise numbers they need to align their regional policies with global UN Sustainable Development Goals. All of this institutional machinery exists to support the final step of the blueprint, Pillar 5, community engagement. KMFRI uses its data to execute a deliberate shift of power, giving local fishers active legal and operational ownership over how their local waters are managed. When fishing restrictions cause a drop in wild-caught revenue, the strategy establishes complementary incomes, like training rural women to commercially harvest seaweed in the shallows, or building sustainable cage aquaculture systems so workers can breed and harvest tilapia as a direct replacement for depleting the ocean's wild stocks. Top-down scientific research completes its objective when it provides a reliable, sustainable paycheck to the rural workers on the ground. By 2027, the strategic plan aims to leave Kenya with a coastal landscape that is regulated, data-driven, and economically diverse. The modern blue economy will broaden out from traditional fishing to include active, modern revenue streams like offshore wind energy, commercial aquaculture, and mineral bioprospecting. These 5 pillars directly support the highest levels of national policy, feeding straight into the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and the broader Vision 2030 timeline. Extracting and depleting natural resources provides a quick payout, but guarantees eventual economic collapse. When scientific innovation is leveraged to put ownership and operational control back into the hands of local communities, the entire nation builds a sustainable path toward prosperity.